Being from an Asian background, my dad wanted me to be an accountant or a dentist, and I failed in both. For me, people are paramount, whether it's business or where you work or industry. But for me, the diversity within the company is amazing, which is quite rare in the property world. I'm a really proud Londoner. One of the reasons I did join LSH is because I could see that passion.
Welcome to the People and Property Equals Progress podcast, brought to you by Lambeth Smith Hampton. Here we go beyond the bricks and mortar and take a deep dive into the fascinating stories behind the business. What makes LSH unique isn't the property market that they operate in, it's the people that drive it forward. The breadth and diversity, the imagination and the ambition of their people. Every episode we'll sit down with an inspiring guest and they'll share their journey, their vision and their passion. So let's get started. Okay, the best name guest that we've had on the podcast, Akhtar Alibhai. I mean, that's just a great name. Your parents wanted you first in life, didn't they? The double A.
That's correct.
And you are a double A battery. You're all energy. I've felt that energy already.
People always say, you've got AAD, so the automobile. They come to your rescue. I think that's me, to be fair, in the world of industrial logistics. I'm your man. Come in, pick the phone up and I'll try and find a solution.
Yeah. Tell us about your role in layman's term at LSH.
I have literally joined the company 6 months ago. And
newbie?
My newbie, and my role is, and very excited, senior director, but I'm basically co-head of the London and the South East Industrial and Logistics team.
Which is huge, and this is expansion. Ezra, we're talking about how great LSH is doing in terms of getting more reach. That is because you're bringing in amazing people like Akhtar.
We've got a really good industrial logistics team. Akhtar represents just another opportunity to expand, and I don't wish to embarrass him, but he was a competitor for a long time. To prize him out of that environment took some coaxing and persuasion. I think we all had to dig quite deep, but I have to say he's one of the most infectious, engaging, fun characters I've come across for many a year. In fact, so much so, his infectious nature even translates to his WhatsApps that he sends to me, and there's not a lot of people that can do that in word.
I met Ezra, albeit I've just started working with him, but we met, I'm sure it's no secret, but we're big Spurs fans or Tottenham Hotspur fans. And I had a privilege, we got to the Champions League final a few years back to play Liverpool. And that's the first time I met Ezra. And we just kind of hit it off. And I think with Ezra, it's very much like that. I mean, I can drop him WhatsApp and we can just have but he kind of gets it and I get it. So we just have that bit of a joke. And I think and also I think it's very rare that you can send a message to a CEO and you get a response as well. And it's a funny response. And I quite like that. And again, that's even in my previous place. For me, people are paramount with regards to whether it's business or where you work or industry. It's all about the people. It's like a family. The first time I met Ezra, as well as the team at LSH, the industrial team, they were so infectious. And that's the feel about LSH. We're such a family. For me, my background was very much family businesses and what have you, and that's what I get from LSH. And the guy with Ezra is one of those people, as well as the rest of the team. You can WhatsApp and pick up. We just get things moving straight away.
So I want to say it was the values of LSH that you jumped ship for, but you seem to epitomise those values whichever room you walk into. But have you found yourself in the last 6 months that everyone I've spoken to has got amazing energy and passion?
100%. Well, I think the first one is our head of house who's left us now.
Dorothy.
Oh,
so
we were talking about
Dorothy
Dorothy,
is an
amazing.
absolute star. So now I've been in industry 20 years, but the moment everybody sort of found out I was going to LSH, it was big news, to be fair. But the first two clients who rang me up, and one was somebody who'd worked at LSH many years, a chap called Simon Parsons, who's now at Albion Land. And the first thing he said to me is that, you've got to meet Dorothy. She is amazing. And very anxious. And I was like, walking in that first day, going up to the 4th floor, and there was Dorothy. Smiling. She put me straight to ease. And I remember the first 5 minutes she said, it's like you've been here forever. And that was what I needed. And then Ezra came and said hello and the rest of the team. And that was so important. That put me at ease. And I think that made me, and of course, like I said, my previous place, I'd been there a long time. And this was still a big move in for me. And for literally about 5 minutes, I thought I've made the best decision. Yeah. And that's really important.
See, there you go. You put Dorothy as the bright spark straight in front of all the newbies and they're like, yes, I found myself.
But also clients. So even though the clients I've been dealing with have come kind of, I've been dealing with, but the first thing I said, Dorothy's brilliant.
Who's replaced Dorothy? This poor person has so much pressure and expectation.
Dorothy has been replaced by Ruby, and Ruby is probably half Dorothy's age and certainly less on experience. But honestly, super Ruby nice. Is fantastic.
Did she know how amazing Dorothy was when she was
but
coming
you know
in?
What? She's got her own shoes.
Oh, good.
She's
her own shoes. Yeah. and she will do it her way, and
Nice
she'll
Wizard of
imprint her.
Oz. I like your.
She'll
analogy
imprint
there.
her own
Very-
style
Yeah.
in her own way, but actually she's great, she's engaging, fantastic. It's what you want at front of house. It's so important. People arrive in a building, it's the first impression. It's, the old thing.
Have there been any surprises coming into LSH with your passion that have changed how you view the company?
But for me, the diversity within the company is amazing. Everywhere you go, there's different nationalities, different languages. I can tell that straight away. But that, again, is something which is quite rare in the property world. So that's been really important. Also, we get breakfast in the morning, which is amazing. Come in at 8 o'clock, it'll be all laid out on the table. Which
So I have a simple rule. Have breakfast, as long as it's all cleared away by 9 o'clock.
The amount of people who don't eat breakfast and then expect themselves to function highly in a stress environment. For me, as a former athlete, you've got to eat. You've got to put fuel in your car before you can be your very best. Like, our brains have got to be on.
But the best thing is you get choices of yogurt.
Yogurt.
Honestly, this is a
Listen to
game
this.
changer. I mean, I come in and I've got a choice of soya.
Is this
milk.
available to everyone, just in case people are listening going, oh, they don't provide breakfast in my office?
Well, I'm not entirely convinced it's available in every single office at LSH, but it's
just
certainly
the important
available
people.
in some of our offices, that's for sure.
Right, let's start directing this
Yeah.
narrative a bit and talk
Yeah,
about
sure.
your favourite place or building.
So this is a really good one for me. It's going to be Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
No, I bet you were hoping someone said that, Ezra.
Yeah.
I mean, on cue. There it is.
I'm a North London. Well, I was born in Essex, grew up very much in North and East London. Like every football fan, let alone a Spurs fan, you dream about the best team and the best stadium in the world.
Yeah.
It became reality in 2015 when we were told that they're going to construct this amazing 65,000 square foot capacity stadium. 2015 it started, it completed in 2019.
Which is really fast for a build, I thought. Isn't that quite incredible?
It is, given the
And
complexity of its construction.
it was massively revisioned. It wasn't
Yep.
keeping any of the old framework.
No,
It was-
there's nothing. The only thing that got reused, I mean, there's some lovely stories, but one of the things that got reused was all of the concrete from the old stadium got recycled and is the flooring of the new stadium.
No way.
Yeah, which is quite amazing.
Oh,
and it
if
was
concrete could
preserved
tell
as,
stories.
but preserved as polished concrete, so
Oh,
you can
wow.
see, you can
Yeah.
see it. Amazing. Yeah.
Amazing.
And for me, that was, and again, as I said, it's on the existing site. So for me, it was brilliant because it was all about, I mean, I don't know if many people have been to Tottenham. Some days you can go there and you're thinking, where am I? But it was a whole plan of this sort of urban regeneration project. And that was a catalyst really to start that. I'm massively about sustainability and we can talk about industrial logistics. It's a big thing now. But to see that happen in 2019, and it's not just a fantastic stadium, it's a venue for, you got NFL, you got concerts. I mean, my daughter was at Beyonce a few months ago. Got all that sort of boxing and what have you. But as I said, it's there for everyone, for the community, not just football fans. And I think for me, that is it's an amazing thing to see.
And it's building, it's infrastructure that makes you feel something. I mean, Ezra talked about the Taj Mahal for the same
Oh,
reason.
did he? Oh, okay.
It made
Yeah,
him
actually, yeah.
feel something
Yeah.
that he'd never felt before.
Yeah.
Every time you go to that stadium, because the sport's dictating your emotions, you're in it.
But you're so proud because you kind of born and bred, you kind of seen it happen. You've got people coming over from America and stuff watching the NFL and you're
Yeah.
like, this is my stadium, it's Tottenham Stadium.
Well, and now you're with LSH, you're an advisor
Yes.
to Tottenham.
We are advisors to the club.
So you're
yeah.
in it. You're
Well-
in it. Every part of you is in
Well,
Tottenham.
I have to
now.
admit, one of the big clinches was when Ezra said to me, we have a corporate box at Southampton. And I was a bit like, oh, have you? Well, no, I
So
don't.
Ezra, you've got two things. You've got the ski challenge and the corporate box.
Yeah,
at
Cool
Tottenham.
works. But
There we go.
I have to say, to Attar's credit, Akhtar is phenomenal at engaging and bringing clients into the box. He makes the most of it. He really does.
He's not just saying this because you're here. We were talking at lunch and he said you're his favourite person to bring
Brilliant, that's really
because
kind.
you
Thank
bring your
Ezra.
energy and your passion
Yeah.
and you bring everyone into the
Yeah.
story of the
Yeah.
football.
And I think that's really key. But Ezra's a part of that as well because I think, number one, okay, some people aren't football fans, but look, it's a great stadium. I think the amount of clients when I say, would you like to come to the box? They're like, we'd love to.
And what about a place or a building that has changed your life?
Okay, so the Olympic Stadium or just Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park, because again, knowing what happened there many years ago, so that whole area was just contaminated land, abandoned industrial site. So you'd get a jam factory there to a car repair centre. Nobody understood it. And then suddenly we were blessed in 2012 to host the Olympics, and that has totally transformed. And I just remember, I was very lucky to go to Super Saturday, going there and seeing, Sir Mo Farah and Jessica Ennis Hill and seeing the goals. But ultimately, it was just, I remember that 4 weeks just being really brilliant. I'm a really proud Londoner. I was just really amazed to see how that's transformed. And now going back post the Olympics, I just go there on the weekend sometimes. I just take in the sporting, go to the velodrome, go for a swim. My daughters spend most of the time in the Westfield shopping centre, but hey ho.
That's okay.
What can you do? Each to their own. But yeah, that's again something that really for me.
It's an amazing legacy.
It's an amazing legacy.
Land that had no soul.
Yeah,
that they've
but
created
now it's
something
a great legacy just for urban regeneration, and I think people now look at that world.
It's an amazing template. And I think echoing Atos' comments, I mean, I cut my teeth in Docklands. I was in Docklands from sort of 1986 to 1992. So absolutely right. That area was a mess. The buildings, higgledy-piggledy, it was all over the place. So when you look at what was there to what is now, it is night and day.
It is sad that you need kind of a global event to be able to recognise the potential of an area, especially for you guys in this industry. Like, it must be hard going, I can see that, I can see the potential. Obviously this area has been reformed now, it's unbelievable, but there must be other areas of London like that you look at and go, gosh, that if the Olympics had chosen something there, what opportunity could be right there?
There's pockets still of sort of Dalston, Hackney and what have you. I know that's close to East London. But even if you go south, don't you? You go to places like to Lewisham and places like that. And again, it's a game changer. It also creates jobs and it creates new houses, but it's for the local economy. And again, pride. I think pride is exactly that. That's what you've seen with the Olympic Park and even with, the Tottenham Stadium, albeit if there's one thing I'd love to see is still Tottenham. I think we're still a bit behind the surrounding area. That still needs some more generation, better transport links for a start, don't you? Because when you walk down the high street, so to speak, you just go...
Nothing's changed. The reality is nothing's changed. I mean, apart from, without making this a sort of political broadcast, but the reality is apart from what the club have done in that high street, nothing else has changed.
But how can the club infiltrate the community?
Because it should work in partnership, and sometimes politically there's resistance to do that. There's often seen to be a divide between what the public sector should be doing, could be doing, as opposed to what the private sector could and should be doing. And sometimes there are some obvious areas where they meet in the concentric circle, but if your mindset is that it's not going to meet, then change doesn't happen.
Well, talking about you making an amazing positive change, let's talk about the Wannis International. I know it's something that you've seen grown exponentially and supported. How did that start and where are we today?
Yeah, sure. So again, it's quite interesting. So Wannis International, they're actually it started out founded in the 1960s as basically a family which came over from East Africa, from Kenya, and funnily enough, my parents came over from Kenya as well. So there's this synergy of a lot of Asians who came over, sort of got into the retail business, in the food and drink business. And again, it was a kind of a family. And again, when my parents came over, it was quite a small community. So there was a Best Way. I'm sure Ezra knows of the Best Way group, and they all came over and kind of did their thing. But what was really amazing about Wannis was again, they started importing Caribbean and African food in a delivery van back in the 60s, and basically they've now grown into a multi-international sort of food and drink supplier. Where they've got over 500 employees. Again, the amazing thing there is a diversity. There's, I think, 28 different nationalities and languages running from that business. And again, what they've done they're in East London. And again, I was very lucky to be appointed to advise them on their global expansion. And again, they've got this, and again, goes back to Ezra's point, it's about a relationship we had with the GLA. So another one of our clients, or LSAG's clients, Segro, who are a big property sort of land, a property company who had a tie-up with the GLA. We got together and we've built a state-of-the-art distribution centre for them now. But again, that came off the back of basically just hard graft. And it's even been better because they've just given us all a 10% discount as well at LSA.
Oh, you got a little card?
So so it's brilliant. And G did that. Basically, they said, look, we love what LSH is doing, so we are involved in a number of projects for them now. Because as you can imagine, they continue to grow. The demand is there with regards to global, so a supply chain. So LSH is involved with a number of projects at the moment with them. But they said, look, as a thank you, we'd like to give the staff. And that goes back to my point about family and business, right? Because we're all working it together. And, for the fact that I've done 7 years, they've paid us fees. But because, is there anything we...
above and beyond.
Yeah, above
Here's
and
an
beyond.
extra cuddle.
Exactly.
In terms of a free banana.
Yeah, well, exactly.
I mean, that's great, though. You feel part of it, don't you?
Exactly. It's part of that family, isn't it? And just seeing that grow.
And that effect, that ripple effect, you're making all the change, but actually to someone else, it's absolutely huge. Yeah. Okay, talking about change, what building, city or place would you like to transform?
Again, and I think I made that point, I think I jumped the gun a little bit, it was Tottenham, as in an area. As I said, the stadium's been a brilliant catalyst, but we need to see more generation. And I'd kind of like to see what's happened at the Olympic Park happen there. I think we need some better houses there, more public space, retail. I just want it to be more of an experience, because when you come to the stadium, it's a super experience. Just walking down, and that's going to be good for the local people, the residents, and the economy, right?
There needs to be a strong political will. If you have an alignment politically, things happen. These things just don't stumble. No. They happen because there is a focus to make something occur by bringing on board all the stakeholders. And I think some of the challenge that we've got in London, to your point, in different parts of London, is the reason perhaps why some of these regeneration projects haven't got off the ground, is because there is a misalignment amongst the stakeholders. It's not just about capital. Capital is always the oil that makes these things work, of course, but it's the political will, and it's having that focus to make these things happen. If you look at different parts of London, some boroughs have been incredibly successful at regenerating. Newham, as an example, have been unbelievably successful. Even in Enfield, actually, a lot of change has occurred. So I think, you want these areas to regenerate. A bit like you probably don't know about me, but I grew up 2.5 miles away from the Tottenham Stadium, so it's my part of town, and I can tell you nothing's changed. So it's lacking investment. It's lacking a plan.
But it's got the catalyst now. So
it's got the catalyst, but how do you build upon it? And it needs other stakeholders to come to the table.
Ezra quite often talks about celebrating individuals who go off piste, who look outside the box. Is there anything that you're proud of in terms of the cases that you've taken on where you've looked outside of the obvious?
I think it's one of those. I mean, my dad always taught me never to judge a book by its cover, so to speak. I think there's been a few examples of that where, you'll get a call and you just... Some people, a classic example, I was doing something in Parking Royal many years ago, and I just got a call from a board, and two people wanted to come in and view that, and I kind of went off and did that, and it transpires that they were like a global sort of film studio company. But I think 9 out of 10 times I would, some people just wouldn't have done that, if that makes sense. I think for me it's always about give people a chance. Some people would say, well, what do you do? Want a lot of information and what have you. I kind of like to think outside the box. I'll give everybody a chance and do that, if that makes sense.
And trust your gut instinct.
And trust your gut feeling, exactly.
But I will say, from my experience with Akhtar, more recently, in getting to know him better, his qualities are perseverance, absolutely at the core of it. But he's so personable. And I see him when I watch him. I watch him work a room. He takes genuine interest in what people do. He really does. He takes a real interest in what people do. And, people warm to that, because you can't fake that. That's a real interest in their business, in their family, or whatever it might be. No wonder he's so popular within the industry, because he is a genuinely real kind of, he's a real person taking a real interest, not just doing a job.
So you're bringing your role at LSH. It might have been the corner roles before, but right into the centre. Because we met Annie from your team, and she spoke so well, so much passion. I mean, I can't make judgment just on the podcast that we're doing, but you seem to love what you do, both of you. You're passionate about buildings, but more than that, you're passionate about the stories and the people.
And again, I think that's going back to the point of one of the reasons I did join LSH, because I could see that passion. And as I said, I'm very blessed to come into a team, and we've got some great people like James Paulson and Alex Carr. Another strength for LSH is I think we forget about we're so strong on the regions as well. For me to pick the phone up to another team member in Birmingham or in Manchester, stuff like that's really, really important, and that feeds through to clients. I can pick the phone up and say, okay, I don't know, but I know a man who does. At the moment, we've just done an amazing deal, which James Paulson, he's a colleague of mine, is at M&S, Marks and Spencer's. It's a 1.3 million square foot new automation distribution centre for M&S, and that is absolutely huge. It's one of the biggest deals to be done in a long time. But again, it just shows the strength of the whole team, and that's another thing I really love about LSH. We all collaborate. So it wasn't just the agency to capital markets, building consultancy, and that can be seen the strength of why M&S are a valued client.
Okay, you're only 6 months in. Who is your bright spark in the company? Who do you lean on? Who do you want to get to know, want to befriend? Who do you want to take to Tottenham?
Okay, I know, but the weird thing is, it's kind of Ezra's, because...
You're not allowed to say him, he's here.
It's really bizarre. So who else can I say? So I think I'm really about championing sort of younger people in the team. So you've kind of mentioned Annie, for example, but there's a couple of others. There's Caris Lovegrove. She's on our graduate scheme. For me, she goes the extra mile with regards to getting things done and what have you. So again, I think that's about the team. And I think what's really important is holding on to good people, right? And I think that is so important. Although I'm a senior director, we have directors, we're all the same. We all have a meeting on a Monday. Everybody has their views. Everybody gets a say. Everybody's got to feel a part of the team. But everybody, and we can all enjoy it. So this Marks and Spencer deal is an absolute huge deal. And yes, James Paulson.
So good to hear the importance and the delivering of the graduates. You know, Ezra was talking about that, something he's really passionate about, getting everyone the opportunity to dip their foot into this world and see that it's an opportunity for them to have a huge and long passionate career with amazing people.
And can I just say, LSH has got one of the best graduate programs in our industry, because I know that for a fact from my previous company, we'd always try and steal them. So we'd be on the phone, right, and then once the moment we knew we'd done an LSH graduate scheme, we'd be like, well, we want them. Were good. Because they have a super graduate program. That's like everything now. We're finding labour is really difficult. So if you speak to a lot of our clients now in the logistics business, it's a really quite important sector now, and there's not that many people out there. So to keep hold of your staff, and I think that's what we now find as advisors. The first thing my clients will say, Akhtar, it's about our staff. Forget about the rent. We need to make sure we look after our staff. That's really important, and therefore that's the location is going to be really important, because we can't lose our staff, because we just really can't replace them. I think
people know it now, don't they? They value it. I think the young generation has a bad reputation, but it's absolutely obsolete, because you've got to find the people who want to be there. And if you give the young generation something they're passionate about, they will work hard. If they're not working hard, then you're not challenging them enough. It's on you, and I think that's why your graduate program's such a success, because you give them such a broad spectrum, LSH, of opportunity of what they could learn.
Yeah, and I think, as I said previously, I think also the apprenticeship part of it is equally important. It's not just about giving people who don't have a property background per se an opportunity, but actually it's about trying to create a much more broader palette across a broader spectrum of people, whether it's of ethnicity, background, education, doesn't matter, but giving everyone a chance to have a career and hopefully finding their pocket within the business where they go, do you know what, I'm not sure about that or that, but I really love that.
Yeah, that's my skill set.
And that's my thing.
I think so often we get caught into, you want another one of you. You know, our ego says, I'm a ski racer. I've got a ski coaching team. I don't need another bunch of chemis. First of all, it would be way too loud. It would be absolute carnage.
I think it'd be brilliant.
I need people who look at something with a different eye. So I need instructors. I need people who've learnt my trade a completely different way, maybe not through speed, but through technique. And I think it takes good leadership to be able to say that, and actually an all-round team who then gel, because everyone's got confidence that they've got something to offer, and they're not intimidated by you because they're the same as you. It's not. No one's the same.
And I think also what LSH are really good at, or what I've found since I've come, is we do a lot of internships, which is great, because at the moment it's really tough to get a job and what have you, because we're in the current climate. But we give opportunities where we'll get somebody in for a month, 2 months, to just give them a flavour. They put it on their CV. It's really great for them, but it's really good for us as well. To see what's out there and what sort of people. But again, you'll find those people will go somewhere else, but it's another relationship, another connection for maybe later on. Again, I'm a massive advocate at the moment of going to schools. I like doing that a lot, because again, when I started out, property was like, being from an Asian background, my dad wanted me to be an accountant or a dentist, and I failed in both. But I got into property, but at that time it wasn't seen as something, a real avenue. But now, going into a lot of local schools, and again, going to North London, East London, it's a really good sector to be in. It's just getting that message out there.
Well, listen, we could talk all day, but you guys have got a Tottenham game to go to. Oh, well, thank you so much.
You for your
Lovely
time.
to chat.
Thank you.
Really
Thanks,
great.
Thank you.